Senator Hembrough and I go in to see you, one of the first things you're going to do is call the staffer anyway.
Right.
Hey,
right.
Mannion just said this. Is that right?
Yeah. Can you fill me in on this?
And if God forbid the staffer says, well, I don't know if he's accurate or not, but by the way, what a pain in the neck. He's like, hey, maybe we'll work on that next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, no, you got to get along with staff. Be nice to them. Don't be fake.
Yep.
And if they're calling you for information, they're calling for a reason.
Joining us today at the table is Mike Mannion, good friend, and who happens to be an attorney and a lobbyist and spend just a little bit of time at the state capitol. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me today.
Yeah.
It's great to see you guys. Great to finally make the table.
Yeah.
Brad said he wasn't sure if you would make the cut or not.
Yeah, that is not
he
true.
did. He's been a lobbyist for months and months. Hey, where's Mannion on the schedule?
Yeah.
Well, the old joke in lobbying is that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Yes, for sure.
So I guess today we're at the table. So
I love it. No, thanks for taking the time. And I know you and I have a personal friendship. You know, Tommy DeLello, I obviously introduced ourselves, and maybe a few days we've spent some time talking at the Office Tavern, my favorite spot away from home.
Yeah,
once or twice.
Yeah, maybe once or twice.
Yeah,
and,
I go there about once a year. It's a nice little place.
Yeah. And we may have done a small water loss for you, as I remember, when you were in Florida.
Well,
time.
you know, and this gives me an opportunity to thank you guys. So, so Chris, this would have been like January of 2022. Michelle and I finally, Aileen's a senior at that time at Springfield High, so Michelle and I finally feel like, okay, we can leave town for a little while. We get down to Florida, and we're not in the condo 10 minutes. And we get a call from Aileen. There's water coming up through the basement, through the city's pipe, not our stuff. But it was that horrible night of just rain and sleet and ice, and it was brutal.
And snow.
Oh.
And we had just taken all the vans off the road.
I remember that. I actually remember that day. I had just started maybe 2 or 3 months prior.
And
you and AJ were out there,
and in true 24-hour service, deal. I mean, Murphy's Law. I was like, Mike, man, I told everybody to go home. He goes, Brad, we got a mess at home, right?
Yeah.
And you were in Florida.
And she's there alone.
And I was like, I got to go out there. I had my dress shoes on. I get
Ruined
out there,
him.
and he's got he had a mess.
Yeah.
And your daughter, she was, beside herself. And I was like, all right, boys, that was, and you'd been here since maybe June of that year. Does that sound right?
Not even. I started at Thanksgiving of 21, and it was January, February of 22.
Brad's still hitting me up for that pair of shoes.
Right. He still hasn't bought that. Allen Edmond pair of shoes, my favorite pair.
Did you get those replaced yet?
Not yet.
Hey, I know your feeling. I remembered, and this is your interview, but I'm going to tell my story. What the hell? I called. This has been it was right before COVID. I woke up middle of the night, couldn't sleep. Came halfway down our stairs, and I hear water, and I'm like, "What is the water that I'm hearing?" My foot left the bottom step, hit the floor, like 2 inches of water all over the first floor of our house. First phone call, 1 a.m.
Peerless.
The Wikester.
Hey,
and they saved the day.
It's a good business model.
Anyway, so no, we are so glad to have you. It's
But
awesome.
Tell us about you and who you're working with and all that good
Your
stuff.
story.
The
People,
story.
we have learned people love the stories.
They love the story.
Yeah, well, I'm not a native of Springfield.
Okay.
So that always puts you at a disadvantage. It's very
Southsider.
Right. Very
Chicago.
proud, proud Southsider. White Sox fan. 90th Street, Evergreen Park.
Better than a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
And the Pope's from there as well.
We got the Pope.
Got the Pope.
God bless Leo.
I love
Thrilled. He's running the Vatican. We're really proud of him. It's a long way from the South Side.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, and you think about it with President Obama. We had a Southsider in the White House. We had a Southsider in the Vatican. So we're conquering the world as we expect to.
I love it. Exactly. I love it.
But
as you always knew you would.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So but I did grow up on the South Side. Youngest of 5. I have 3 older sisters, an older brother. To the Griffin alumni out there, they hate to hear volleyball. Mother Macaulay, that was always their nemesis in the 70s and 80s and 90s. So my 3 sisters did go to Mother Macaulay, and my brother and I went to Chicago Marist, all boy Catholic South Side. So we We had a good time. We loved where we grew up. My mom and dad, immigration is kind of the topic of the day.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
And my mom and dad both are Irish immigrants. I get immigration. Big fan of legal immigration. But my mom and dad each came here on a boat separately. They did not know each other in Ireland. Yeah. They met at a wedding reception on the south side of Chicago.
Wow.
Is that
Right on 87th Street.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
St. Killian's Parish. I could drive you there right now.
I love that.
So, yeah,
That's
my
awesome.
mom had been here about 2 weeks, and it just so happened that the groom was her cousin, and they didn't even know she was going to be in town. They knew she was going to immigrate, but they didn't know when she was going to get there. So she shows up 2 weeks ahead of the wedding, and they're like, hey, we know you don't have an invite, but come on over.
Yeah.
Well, the guy getting married, his best man was my dad.
Oh, no kidding.
And
Wow.
they met at the wedding reception.
That's
and
awesome.
They dated about 4 years. They were married for 50, and then he passed shortly after their 50th, which is crazy. So
That's a cool story. Cool story.
But there was a lot of Irish immigrants on the south side of Chicago. That was not
Yeah.
that
Not unusual. Interesting.
No.
I love it.
So, but yeah, we had. In fact, I don't know if I ever told you this story, but we called them double cousins because this one family we grew up with, it's like it's always raining in Philadelphia or always sunny in Philadelphia. The Gallagher family. It was two sisters who married two brothers, and their backyards connected.
I love it.
So we always got a kick out of that. We're like, so are they even closer than first cousins? But so yeah, that was the south side of Chicago.
Yeah, and you're a lobbyist and an attorney.
I am.
So you kind of wear both hats. Tell us a little bit about that, who you're working for, what you do, and what a typical day looks like for you.
Yeah, so the days can be very different depending on whether or not they're in session. And I've been involved in government on all sides of it. I've been involved in campaigns. My dad was very politically active in Chicago. He was a builder in the city of Chicago, so you needed to.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, you needed to stay engaged for this little thing called a building permit. Those are pretty important. But so yeah, I was kind of always involved in the political scene. Came down here, got more involved. But even at Marquette, I clerked for, and this was for class credit, but I clerked, interned, whatever you want to call it, for a Democratic congressman from Milwaukee, Jerry Kletchka.
Okay.
Really good guy. And I did that for credit for a poli-sci class. And then professionally, very early on in my career in Springfield, I met a guy named Lee Daniels, who went on to be the last Republican Speaker of the House. And he was putting together a team of attorneys. They call them the tech review, the technical review team. So I went on loan from the firm I was at the time for about 2 years, back and forth. I'd go to the firm some days, the house on other days. And so that was a real good entree into the process. And the best way to learn it is to just jump in and be a part of it.
Yeah.
And I was lucky because I had a cousin come down in 1993 who spent 10 years in the Illinois Senate, Pat O'Malley. So that was good because I was working for the House and I had my own cousin in the Senate.
Yeah,
we both went to Marist. And
Yep.
so that was kind of nice to have Pat down here then at the time. And then I went back to the firm, helped grow the lobbying practice to it was pretty robust practice. And then subsequent to that, I went to a corporation and I was in charge of governmental affairs there for about 3.5 years, a little less than 3.5 years. And then Bruce Rauner was elected governor of the state of Illinois. Knew a lot of guys going with Rauner. They definitely kind of had it in their plan to kind of get older, seasoned people. Know the system, know the process, get this thing up and running fast. So I was my first position in the Rauner administration. I was the director of banking for the state of Illinois. And then they asked me to go over and run benefits over at Central Management Services. So then I was the director of benefits for a little over a year. And my thing was I was always going to stay 2 years. And as those 2 years were coming to a close, I was actually out with a good friend of mine, Kirk Dillard.
Oh, yeah.
Senator Kirk Dillard. So you see his name a lot in the paper now because he's also the head of the Regional Transportation Authority. And that's obviously one of the biggest still unresolved issues over at the Capitol is transit funding. So Kirk was like, well, what are you going to do, And I said, well, I'm talking to a few people, this and that. And he goes, you should just come with Locke Lord. That's the firm he was with at the time and still is. And so I was like, well, okay, let's see what we can do. So we were able to put together, I interviewed and went through all those machinations. But then around mid-March of 2017, I went to Locke Lord. Been there ever since. It's been great. On January 1, we merged with another firm. So now we are Troutman Pepper Locke.
Okay.
Great group of people. Just we're bigger. Great platform. Great support. I've never asked to go to a meeting where they didn't say, sure. If you've got a game plan for why you want to be there, we'll support it. Home base is, instead of Houston, Texas, is now Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
So that was a change.
How many offices?
I believe counting London, it's 33 offices,
Okay. Wow.
1,600 attorneys.
Wow.
So not very big at all.
No, it's a tiny operation. And guys, I come bearing gifts. So these are two divot fixers with a ball marker.
Now that requires hitting the green, though.
I was
right?
just going to
Troutman
say,
Pepper
I
Locke.
don't get to
You
use
don't need
mine
that.
much because I
I'll
never
take
hit the
that.
green.
You don't need that.
Well,
You're right.
you have a chipping.
well, I called down to Atlanta and I asked for a shovel.
This is nice.
Yeah, I asked for a shovel for the sand traps for you guys, and they said no. We're going to assume they're going to be on the green.
Well, I wish you had something to fix my yips from my
Yeah.
chipping. That would really.
I
help.
was just going to ask if you had anything for what Brad calls
Yeah,
the
These are
rattlesnakes.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
love
there
it.
you
Got
go.
a ball mark on there too.
Don't say the firm did never did anything for you.
The
so.
thing is, I don't even know how to use a ball mark because I never hit the green.
Yeah.
Thank
There
you,
you go.
Mike. Yeah, I love it.
But yeah,
Awesome.
like what brought me to Springfield too originally, and Chris, you grew up with the Panapinto family.
Yeah.
So I met Michelle at Marquette in undergrad.
Right.
So that's another
Gotcha.
draw to Springfield. And the deal was we had talked about, okay, we're going to stay here 2 years,
Yep.
get some experience, and I wanted to go back to my hometown, Chicago. And after 2 years, we had a house, a baby, and a dog.
And you were staying here.
And we weren't moving.
Yep.
So I think that was a very strategic decision on
it's a
her
good
part.
idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And we're glad you stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many
Well,
kids do you
yeah,
have,
but
Mike?
if
How many?
We have 4 kids.
Yep.
In fact, we're going to Ohio tomorrow. This won't air today, but
Mm-hmm.
we're going to Ohio tomorrow. Our oldest son is graduating from his residency. He's a medical resident at
Awesome.
the Cleveland Clinic.
Awesome.
And we're excited. He's moving back to the St. Louis area. He's going to do a fellowship in critical care starting July 1, a 2-year fellowship.
Awesome.
So we're getting him back, and he's doing that at WashU.
Yeah.
Barnes Jewish.
That's
so
awesome.
that's a good place.
Yep.
And then Ellen is our oldest daughter. She is a WashU law graduate.
Mm-hmm.
She's at a firm in Chicago, Armstrong Teasdale. It seems like a really great group of people.
Sure.
Colin is number 3. He just completed his first year of law school at the University of Wisconsin. Made the dean's list, so I'm really proud of
Love
that.
that.
And
Lawyers
then,
and doctors so far.
I
Not
was
bad.
just
Yeah,
about
not
to say
bad. Not bad.
a lot of smart
Is
kids.
that, yeah, thank
Well,
God
the ba-
for a good wife and a,
Yeah,
a
very,
wonderful
very
mother.
brilliant wife. And then Aileen, the baby's actually in pre-med at Tulane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Two doctors and 2 lawyers.
Not
So-
bad.
So if I need a loan or
I was
a,
just
or
going to say,
medical care,
yes,
Yeah.
I hope you're being
Well, I'm not
paid
gonna.
well.
I'm not
so
gonna
you
play the compare game with you and your kids. I'm not gonna do it.
they work. They work hard. They work very hard. And the boys went to you know the Knadler crew and a lot of people from around here. It seems more and more every year. But both of the boys went to Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, it seems like more. You're right. There are a lot
This
of
guy's got
kids
more
with it.
spirit wear than anybody I've ever
Yeah.
met.
But
I
we-
just want an invitation to the closet, baby. I want to see
You
it
can't
all.
you can't beat a good college bookstore. You can't.
Right. No, you're right. I keep saying,
Yeah.
and I need to deliver, especially now that I have a divot fixer thing here. We got to get you some University of Miami Florida gear.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yes, we do.
So
I will
so
order
for those
it tonight.
For those who are listening to this or will listen to this and don't recall, the Honorable Chris Hembrough over here went to Miami of Florida where he won a national championship in football.
Yes.
But as
In
the
the
kids,
dark ages.
In '83.
but as the kids from Miami of Ohio will remind you,
Yes. They are the real Miami.
of Ohio was a school before Florida was a state. So there
that
you
is
go.
Yeah, I've
There
heard
you
that
go.
before.
Yes, I have
Yeah.
as well.
So
let's
what's-
move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, before he starts talking about his leather football helmet.
Yeah.
But so, what's a typical day look like for you?
So a typical day during session would be, number one, you're always looking out for legislation that impacts your client. You're always keeping your client updated. With cell phones, even more than, 30 years ago, it would have been like, well, I had a laptop, I sent you an email. But with cell phones and text and the ability to email off your phone, there is no excuse for your client to hear information secondhand.
Right.
I mean, it can happen if you miss one or two things, but I mean, by the end of the day, your client, hey, I was in a meeting, X happened, this impacts this client I have, they need to know about that.
Yeah.
Most of my clients, some of them have a very regular cadence. 2 o'clock on Tuesday, we have an update call, or by close of business Friday, I want an update on the bills you're working on for me. And they also, the other thing is they want some color commentary, like, hey, it's, the deadline's not for 3 weeks. The bill we're trying to kill hasn't even been called yet. But when it is called, we're already working the committee, we're already talking to people. Staff really runs the place too.
Right.
You really got to stay close to staff. And the Sunday night before it was getting to the last week, I got a call from a staffer or a text said, hey, we're meeting these 2 people out if you're in town. The staffer had forgotten that I didn't realize I lived here, I think. But and before I knew it, I was out with 2 senators who, had decision-making authority over something I cared about.
Sure.
And I didn't even know they were going to be there. So part of it, the old line is you got to show up.
Right.
So non-session days can be different. Like today is a non-session day for me. I've talked to 3 of my clients, but I'm preparing for a big update that I'm giving this Friday.
Gotcha.
So it's constant information flow, constant reading. For example, Sunday, cover the Chicago Tribune, big story, and I think it's going to be a 4-part story, doing a really, really deep dive on crop insurance.
Okay.
And how that impacts Illinois farmers. And there's a list of the top 10 crop insurance providers in the country, and also in Illinois. So 2 of my clients have crop insurance interest.
Okay.
It's not their number one driver, but it's a division within the company they have. And I sent them both a link and said, hey, you might have missed this because they probably didn't read the Chicago Tribune yet, So there's just those are other ways to let your client know I'm always thinking about you guys. If I hear any information, I will get it to you. If I read an article, I will forward it to you. It's just kind of the process. But session days, more often than not, are going to be much busier than non-session days.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You mentioned your clients, some of the industries that you work for or lobby on behalf of. Can you
Sure.
share some of those?
Yeah, I won't give you all the names, but
Right.
I do one property and casualty insurance client. We do a lot of legal work for multiple.
Okay.
But we lobby for one in particular.
Okay.
We have a lab, LAB, a lab testing company that is focused on lab costs and lab efficiency. And those are often connected, think about it, Springfield Clinic, draw blood, whatever.
Right.
I represent the Home Builders and Remodelers Association of the state of Illinois. Great group to work with, and near and dear to my heart because my father was a home builder for his whole career.
Yeah.
And then I represent a telehealth company. I can tell you that because I have to. I won't tell you the exact name, but you have to register with Secretary of State.
Gotcha.
Okay. So so there's a record of it out there for anyone who wants to look
Wants to
hard
dig
enough.
into it. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, the action's fun. I never went to law school sitting there going, man, I can't wait to write a will.
Right.
I just, or do tax. Can't wait to do your taxes.
But looking back, are you where you thought you might be in the political arena as well as the law arena? No. Okay.
No, it's been a lot of fun. I was in Madison, Wisconsin Friday night, and after I had to take care of my job duties, I went out with my son and a couple of his friends, and that was, the question they all kind of had is, okay, well, you've done this, this, and this. How did you plan for that? I'm like, well, I didn't.
Yeah.
My dream job 33 years ago, I wanted to do a big murder case.
Okay.
I always had it in my head that I would go to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office.
You want to be a trial lawyer type guy, be in the courtroom. Yeah. Okay.
And so the joke is I made it through the first round. I think there were like 1,500 or 1,600 people interviewing for 90 spots. No, for 30 spots. And so I made it through the first round. So then I make it through the second round. And then I got a letter dated like August something, 1992. You are in the final 90 who have made all the cut, and we're going to offer 30 jobs. And then 31 through 90, you're going to be on a wait list. And so anyway, I'm still on the wait list, apparently 33 years later.
I love it.
So then the job opportunity opened up in Springfield, which I took. I also had a job offer from the Sangamon County State's Attorney.
Oh, okay.
Is that right?
Don Cadigan, yeah.
Okay.
And love the Don Cadigan, great guy, great family. Ryan Cadigan's a judge now over in the county building. Just great people. But the private firm I thought would be a better fit for me at that time. So, and it gave me a quicker entree into the lobbying and the governmental work. But in terms of having worked for a Speaker of the House, having worked in an administration, having been Senate confirmed director, no. I did not plan all that out.
But always an interest in politics. And
politics and the law
saw the
has always
lobbying
been
side. Yeah.
Politics and the law has always been the driving force. I love the action. I love sports. You guys know that. You're both Division I players. And politics really is like a sport. I mean, there's strategy, there's money deployed, there's winners and losers. Kind of like sport. Got a lot of the same aspects.
Yeah,
and
never
I like
put
that.
it in those terms. I do too. That's so when you're lobbying to kill a bill or hoping to, is it always your hope to be able to do that in committee prior to it ever getting?
Well, if sometimes you can get them to not even call
before
it.
committee. Exactly. Yes.
So and people have to understand it's a 2-chamber process.
And a lot of people don't understand the process, right?
And,
Unless you've been close to it.
Yeah, and you'll get.
So say that more about that because I
Yeah.
don't know
So
what
right.
that
So
means.
a House member introduces a bill in the House, and let's say they get it out of the House.
Okay.
It's got to go over to the Senate
I
and pass in the same form, and then go to the
gotcha.
governor's desk. So there's no guarantee it gets out of the House because
Because it has to pass committee first.
Yeah, and so let's say it does get out of the House. So I had a bill this year. I won't give the number, but we had a real one of my clients had a real problem with this bill, and we weren't the only stakeholder who had a problem with it. But it got out of the House, and we weren't happy about that. And then I went to the chairman, and not just me; it's a team sport.
Right.
But I sat down with the chairman of the committee. She was not the sponsor, but it was going to go through her committee, and a really, really dynamite senator. And she just said, "Are you opposed to the bill?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Why?" And I told her why, and she goes, "Well, I wanted to hear your reason before I tell you where I'm at." And I said, "Well, that's fine. Where are you?" And she said, I think it's a horrible bill, and I'm not going to call it in my committee, but I just wanted to hear what you had to say about it. But I'm with you, and that's not going anywhere."
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it doesn't pass committee, it doesn't get to the floor to be voted
Well, you
on,
always got to
right?
watch out for amendments. Those can pop up at the end too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so no, you just got to have an open line of communication. You got to show up. You got to, get to the extent you can, try to make the fundraisers. And but it's about constantly maintaining the relationship. And there are plenty of members of the General Assembly who I've known a very, very long time, and sometimes you have them on a bill, and sometimes you don't. And their first obligation is they've got to look out for their district. And if my position is a bad idea for their district for whatever reason, you've got to respect that.
Sure.
They've got to do what they've got to do.
Interesting.
But it's fun.
I'm still back on your comparison to sports.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it in those terms. Yeah. Pretty interesting.
So politically, I love talking to you about politics because I'm not as dialed in. But boy, as a small business person, this can be a frustrating state to do business in. Like for instance, when they talked about the
Potential
tax on services,
Sure.
that's not good for our business.
No, I sent you that list.
Yeah, I know. Or even for for other businesses that are doing business here that are hiring people that and it is being in Illinois. I mean, moving forward. Is it going to get any better for us, the small business owners, or is it going to continue to be challenging with the new bills coming down the pipeline?
I just think a little more fiscal restraint would be wonderful. And we all live here,
Right.
Right.
we're all paying the gas tax, we're all paying the sales tax, we're all paying our property taxes.
Right.
I'd love to see it get cheaper to live here.
Yeah.
And since 1960, Illinois in 1960 had 27 electoral votes, and in the most recent election they were down to 17. I'm sorry, down to 19. So they've lost 8 in that period of time. That's a lot of voting power in Congress.
And that's based on population.
It's based on population.
Population shift.
Okay, so that's
So
not good.
so now other people will say, well, everybody just got bigger faster than us, and there's some merit to that because Florida had 10 electoral votes in 1960, and now they have 30.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
3 times.
Say no more.
Yeah. But it's I think a better business climate would help us hopefully attract more jobs.
Agreed.
And it's like the old thing. When Rahm Emanuel was mayor of Chicago, his big quote always was, "Tell me how many cranes are in the air. Just tell me how many cranes are in the air." And he's right.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so excited in Springfield with
Sure.
the Shields complex is going up so fast.
Yep.
I heard a rumor that there's about 52 weekends. Well, we know there's 52 weekends, but 26 of those 52 are already booked in their first year once they get going.
That's outstanding.
The Illinois Times just had a great article on the whole idea behind how to rebuild downtown. We've got to. You can't just abandon it. I mean, we're a state capital.
No, absolutely.
I
I
mean,
agree.
we've got to do more with it. I hope more people return to work. I don't. I don't know how good of an idea work from home is 5 days a week.
Right.
You got to get people out because what do they do when they go out? They shop. They might run an errand. They go to the store. They go to lunch.
Right.
They're not doing that as much if they're sitting
Absolutely.
at home.
Yep. Agreed.
And I'm not getting into the merits of work production. That's somebody else's conversation. Sure. I just mean in terms
but the
of
economic impact of that is
get people out of their house.
A lot of folks don't think about it, and it is substantial.
Yeah,
for sure.
And particularly for the local brick and mortars.
Yeah, sure.
I get it because someone's going to say, "Well, I'm helping the economy. I just ordered 10 things from Amazon." Well, that's great, but you didn't go to Cafe Mexico.
No, I know.
You didn't go to the Office Tavern. You didn't go to someplace downtown to have a beer or whatever. Like you gotta.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
gotta be out.
like our dry cleaning business has been decimated, since COVID, and many of those folks that we had in our top, 100 clients, some of those folks, 50% probably still are working from home.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, workplace casual is way more acceptable today than it was back then.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
and I think
changed that business totally.
I'd love to see the demographic on that as to what would impact your business in a negative fashion more, work from home or casual.
Right.
Because I can, my first day at the law firm was September 1st, 1992, and I wore a suit 5 days a week. And which means I needed dress shirts fixed. But now, I've got on a lighter shirt or a lot of days golf shirt and Lulus, which never need to be dry cleaned.
No, totally. Yeah.
But from a convenience perspective, we can clean everything you wear besides your underwear and your socks. So we don't want to clean either of those. So. But no, that is a great point.
I wouldn't ask you to.
It's so true. Yeah. I mean, right? I mean, 6-7 years ago, I wore not a coat and slacks and a tie, a suit and a tie every single day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the combination of the two, stay at home because of COVID and casual work environment, has changed that drastically.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So
how much in your government affairs work over your career have you done much at the federal level or everything at the state level?
Yeah, not a lot at the federal level other than clerking for Congressman Kletchka. My son, Colin, worked for Congressman Mike Carey out of Columbus, Ohio for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And ironically, he's friends with Congressman Darren LaHood.
Oh, really?
They're both on Ways and Means together.
Huh.
So
is that right?
I made that connection one day.
Okay.
I went to see Colin in Columbus, Ohio, and it just so happened Congressman Carey was there. And the younger people in the office are like, "Hey, man, it's a congressman," but I didn't know the guy, and all he could say is no.
Yeah, right.
And so we went about having beers by the office, and some of his, Colin and some of the staffers came over. So Congressman Carey and I start playing the name game, and I'm like, "All right, what about Darren LaHood?" He goes, "Oh, I know Darren LaHood. And he goes, do you really know Darren LaHood? I go, I'll text him right now, and Congressman LaHood's a great guy.
I was just going to say, by the way, what an awesome guy. I got to know him when I was at the chamber.
Yeah.
Unbelievable
So he
guy.
texted Congressman Kerry back right away. So that was kind of fun. But Colin, really wanted to get a law degree. So he left there on great terms. They're wonderful people. I wish Congressman Kerry nothing but the best. But, Colin came back here to go to UW Law. So
Yeah. Do you see Colin getting into the political side of maybe like what you do?
Yeah, I think he would like to, but there's no straight line for it.
Right. It's all relationship based, maybe.
Yeah,
I just feel like when I
relationship-based
talk
and,
to you, you know so many people. You talk about relationships all the time. You know?
Well, my theory is, my old joke is, and younger people don't know what a Rolodex is.
Right.
My joke always was, whoever has the biggest Rolodex wins.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I do have a lot of connections.
Yeah.
I definitely have nurtured those over time.
Sure.
But there's no straight line on how to do it.
Yeah.
I'll give you a great example, because this isn't about being good. This is luck.
Right.
So my dad did a ton of building on the north side of the city, and in one of the wards he built a lot in was Alderman Cullerton's ward, whose cousin goes on to be Senate President John Cullerton.
Yeah.
You can't plan that.
Right.
So I'm 12 years old, sweeping buildings out for my dad on the north side of the
Yeah.
city, and I meet a young guy who's obviously 15 years or so older than me, but I see him on a job site because he came out to see my dad, and that's Representative John Cullerton, who goes on to be Senator John Cullerton and then Senate President John Cullerton.
Sure.
Fast forward to Governor Rauner appointing me director of banking, I get a call from John Cullerton,
Right.
who's the Senate President in charge of confirming Rauner's appointees. And it's so many years I can tell this story, but
Sure.
it's like, I'm like, hey, John, how you doing? Hey, Mike, good. Hey, I see the nominee list here. I'm like, yeah. He goes, so Rauner nominated you to be director of banking. I go, yeah. He goes, all right, here's what we're going to do. And I won't say the SARE word involved. He goes, but we're gonna confirm you first, because I want to let your new boss. Every conversation I had with John was your boss. He loved to say that, but he goes, I want to let your new boss know that if he appoints normal people, they'll get confirmed.
I love it.
So I'm like,
great.
all right, John, great.
I love it.
That's really nice. And a good friend of mine who you have met, Senator Tony Munoz,
Yes. Yep.
was the chairman
Great
of
guy.
the Senate Executive Appointments Committee. So then he calls me.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard you talk to Cullerton. Yeah, I talked to Cullerton. He goes, all right, well, look, hey, we're having a hearing, and it wasn't even posted yet.
Yeah.
We're having a hearing next week up in Chicago. You make plans to be up
Might
in
wanna be
Chicago,
there. Yeah.
and we're going to call you.
I love it.
And then
That's awesome.
the minority spokesperson for the Republicans on that committee at the time was Darren LaHood.
Darren LaHood, yeah.
So LaHood called,
Small
hey,
world.
did you? I go, look, I already talked to these guys. Hey, we're fine. Don't worry about me. I go work on somebody else, but I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, they call me up and I get confirmed, and I got approved, and it had to go to the full Senate floor.
Yeah.
So
Well, it sounds like your law firm's in good stead or in good hands with you.
yeah,
on
they're
that.
great
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Actually, they're having a meeting tomorrow, I believe. But anyway,
Yeah.
I've got to go to Ohio for my son's graduation.
Yeah. So one of the things we talk a lot about in our company is culture and how important that is, right? So when you guys did is it called a merger?
Yeah.
The merger? I mean,
good
how's the culture?
I think it's great.
Similar cultures?
Yeah.
with
Yeah. I mean, we're just bigger, and, it's kind of like, in a way for me, it's kind of like going to Marist High School. We were 2,200 boys under one roof.
Yeah.
And I use that as an analogy because I was walking out of a business class one day at Marquette. This is junior year of Marquette. So this is 7 years post-freshman year, basically, 4 of high school, 3 of Marquette. And a guy introduces himself to me. And he says, hey, Mike, good. I go, yeah. He goes, we went to Marist together. I go, we did? I don't remember from high school, and I know I didn't see him for the first 2 years of Marquette.
Right.
So there's a little bit of that when you get that big.
Sure.
My office is in Chicago. I have a small office in Springfield, but then I'm at 111 South Wacker, beautiful building.
Nice.
So in the Chicago office, we had the larger space. So the Troutman crew moved over to our office space. And I'm going to be up there next week. We have a big dinner. So it's you just kind of got to get to meet the people.
Sure.
But the 2 top people at the firm are really, really nice people. One of them, Amy Colby, was hilarious. We're talking at one of the first functions, and Turns out she had an aunt who lived in Lamont, where my mom and dad moved out to, almost 30 years ago. So we were able to talk about Lamont, stuff like that. But no, really nice people. And, it all boils down to you got to just no different than your guys' business.
Right.
You got to provide quality service.
Yep.
You got to get back to people. It's got to be at a fair price.
Sure.
It's got to be on time.
Yep.
It's there are certain constants that carry no matter what the business you're in.
And it's really fundamentally, it's simple, but sometimes folks can't figure that part out,
Right.
If you make a promise, deliver on it. The end.
Yeah.
Right.
The end.
And call people back.
Yeah, and call people back. Yeah,
Return a phone call today, not
Right.
3 days
But we're
away.
all sitting here with our cell phones, right?
Right.
There is no reason, unless you've thrown it in the lake,
Agreed.
to not be responsive to somebody when you have
Amen.
one of those.
Yep.
And the thing is, someone isn't really following up because when you're with them, their face is in their phone for
the
30
whole
minutes.
time.
Right,
You're right.
exactly.
But all of a sudden you text them, it's like, I don't know what happened.
Why didn't you
know?
call me back 3 days ago? You got your phone right here.
What was it, the Pope of Greenwich Village? I broke my thumb. I couldn't text.
But it is true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And back to you, I love your thing about there's no straight line.
No.
It's all hinges on relationships, and then there's a lot of luck mixed in there, right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
so
when
you never know when you cross paths with somebody.
Yeah.
How you
Oh.
speak to them, what you say to
yes.
them, how you embrace them, how you engage with people. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Every good and great thing that I've ever experienced and Brad's ever experienced and you have as well,
Yeah.
it all comes back to relationships.
Oh.
Every bit of it.
Oh, there's one senator in particular, and probably a couple others if I thought about it, but one senator in particular, great guy. I won't put him on the spot by naming him, but two. One's a Republican and one's a Democrat. I knew both of them when they were on staff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You-
And they remember how you engaged
remember.
them, treated them. Absolutely.
And people will remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
you know?
they do.
Absolutely.
So, and the thing is, staff really runs it. If you really know what's going on, staff runs it.
Gotcha.
They do all the heavy lifting.
Well, it's like you go into, you're Senator Hembrough, and I go in to see you. One of the first things you're going to do is call the staffer anyway.
Right.
Hey,
That's right.
Mannion just said this. Is that right?
Yeah. Can you fill me in on this?
And if God forbid the staffer says, well, I don't know if he's accurate or not, but by the way, what a pain in the neck. He's like, hey, maybe we'll work on that next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, no, you got to get along with staff. Be nice to them. Don't be fake.
Yep.
And if they're calling you for information, they're calling for a reason.
Yeah.
And, and you got to get back to them. And you got to be accurate. And you want, for your client, you want the representative or the senator or the staffer to be calling you. Because you're like, okay, you now consider me the best source of information you can get. And again, I go back to John Cullerton because I always really liked John. When I was running benefits for CMS, that's when there were a lot of problems with the Rauner administration negotiating with the unions on the benefit package and everything like that. And John called me. He's like, look, and he would always say your boss just to get a rise out of me. He goes, here's what I'm hearing on the numbers. And I'm like, he's giving you accurate information. A lot of that information is coming out of our office and the budget office. And look, this is what an Aetna package will cost. This is what a Cigna package will cost. This is what a Blue Cross package. I mean, it is what it is. He's telling you.
This is
the
right.
truth. Yeah. But so to get that call, you're like, okay. He trusts me enough to be like, all right, that's going to be the guy who verifies it.
I like it.
And for any of your clients, you want to be that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We got to ask him the question.
Is it time for the
it's time
question?
for the-
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not that big. He calls it the question.
well, I do,
Okay.
because I think
So
it's-
every time we do these.
Yeah, we do. Because, guys like him, he's,
Yeah.
he
Done
could
a couple
probably,
things in his
yeah,
life. Few
yes,
experiences.
yes.
A little bit of wisdom
Yes,
under that.
a lot. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, a lot.
Okay,
no,
well,
we always-
I'm wearing my Troutman Pepper Locke hat.
I
up
want
there.
one
I
of
like
those,
that.
by the way.
Be
Yeah.
branded always.
Yes.
No, so we always ask folks if you could look back 25 or 30 years after all your experience and give your younger self
Oh, wow.
a piece of advice or two, what would be the advice you would give a younger Mike Mannion in
Mannion,
his,
wow.
25 or 30 years old?
Because hopefully your kids will be watching this.
Right.
Yeah.
And they'll finally listen.
Hopefully, yeah.
Actually, they
Well,
listen
send
all
them a
along. That's
link.
why they
We'll
have
send
two
them a
dots,
link.
Yeah.
two attorneys.
I would, well, when you have to wear a hairpiece for your communion pictures, I'd say buy more baseball hats. Buy as many baseball hats you can get your hands on.
More spirit wear.
Yeah,
huh?
more spirit wear. Quick sidebar, and then I'll answer the
that's
question.
Funny, actually.
My oldest sister, Eileen, great lady. She went to Loyola Chicago for undergrad. And I would have been like in 5th or 6th grade when she would have been a freshman in college. Mm-hmm. And she brought home a Loyola T-shirt from their bookstore for me one weekend. And I was sold.
Yeah.
And then the next year, Angela went to Marquette. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I got to get something from the books. I'm this little kid. And I'm just, so I got turned on to
so still to this day.
college wear. I do.
Oh, yeah.
I
He's
do.
got a lot of college wear.
I was at that event in Madison this weekend, and I wore a Wisconsin hat, and I went to Marquette,
He
so
has,
I kind of
he
sold
has
out.
an identity crisis. He does not know who he is. I mean, during college football season, I can only imagine what it's like getting up in the morning. You're like, when am I going to, what am I wearing?
What shorts? What
Yeah. I would, you know what? I don't know that I would change a ton. One thing I taught from my mom and dad was, the relationship game. You know, you've got, and that doesn't mean you're out there glad handing every day and backslapping and being insincere, but just, be aware. I probably would have tried harder in undergrad. Mm-hmm. I did pretty well. Marquette's business program is pretty robust, not easy. Mm-hmm. But I probably could have tried harder in college. Mm-hmm. My kids are all better students. All 4 of them are better students than me. Mm-hmm. But school-wise, I wouldn't change much other than maybe try harder at Marquette. I mean, I graduated from law school in 2.5 years and passed the bar exam the first time I took it. So I did okay there.
Real good, yeah. But relationships are.
I think relationships a big one, and maybe be more flexible. Although I'm not that flexible sometimes, but it seems to have served me well. Mm-hmm. But maybe my first firm, staying 20 years, I might have, turned down some opportunities that maybe I could have pursued earlier. Mm-hmm. But I just think, no straight line.
I love it.
Just be ready for anything.
Yeah.
And maybe don't be afraid to pursue some opportunities earlier than you would have. Mm-hmm. The only thing I had to promise my dad when he was sick was that I would never run for public office.
Oh, okay.
And I don't regret
that.
making that promise or staying committed to it.
Yeah, good.
So, I didn't do that. But just I would say just keep reminding yourself there's no straight line. Change isn't awful.
No.
You'll weather it if you work hard and keep your nose down and you're good to people. And
I like it.
Just make sure all the relationships you make as you go, maintain them. Mm-hmm. And my sister-in-law gave a speech at SHG 2 graduations ago. Or she wrote it. She couldn't be in town to deliver it, I don't think. Oh, yeah, no, she was here. Mm-hmm. But, pull up as you go. Mm-hmm. So don't just try to climb over people to get where you're going.
Bring people with you.
Try to bring people along.
Yeah,
Stick your hand out and pull them up.
Great advice.
Yeah, very
well,
good.
You've been a big advocate for Peerless and just for our company, and I can't thank you enough for that, especially not being from here, being from Decatur, and it's an honor to be your friend for sure. And thank you for taking the time to be here with us today.
Oh, no, thank you guys. This was great.
No, it's been awesome.
It's fun to do it with friends.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I'll trade you a Troutman Pepper Locke hat for a Peerless shirt at some point.
Or a Peerless hat.
I'll give you
I
a
may
hat.
have one.
I'll stop by the house on the way to wherever our next meeting is today.
Yes.
Thanks,
All right,
Mike.
good. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
buddy. Yep,
This was
appreciate
great.
it.